What's going on, guys? John here from The Real Talk, back again with another video, and it's a special one. So as you can tell by the title of the video, I have some guests here. We're going to go over our predictions for the 2018 Oscars. So we're going to run down the categories and what we think should win and what we want to win. And as for my guests, I'll let them introduce themselves. Gentlemen?
What's going on, guys? This is Adam of Almost Sideways, and I'm so excited to be talking about the Razzies and giving my nominations for... Wait a second. I'm sorry, no, it was the Oscars. I got the wrong list. I'm going to come up on the fly. We'll do the best. But I'm excited to talk about these movies. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey guys, my name is Zach, and also, John, thank you for having me on here. It's great to be talking with you and Adam about adult films, but I think you lied to me when you said that and got me in on this. Apparently we're talking about the Oscars, but that's pretty cool too. I like the Oscars. Hopefully this year will go well for me. I got some good nominations that I think should be on there.
Yeah, definitely, guys. I'm so excited to be working with you guys on this particular video. And alright, guys, so let's get started here. I have my list here on the side. So the first category we're going to start off with is Best Cinematography. So my list for that, I have, let me see, I have a little small film that not a lot of people saw, which is Columbus. Another film I have, which you guys will probably have, is Blade Runner 2049. I have Wind River, Phantom Thread, The Shape of Water, and The Florida Project. What about you guys?
Well, for my list, I have my 5 films plus the 2 films that could sneak in there possibly. I have Blade Runner 2049, Dunkirk, The Shape of Water, Call Me By Your Name, and Mudbound. My other 2 films kind of sneaking in there is The Darkest Hour and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
All right, and for me, I actually pretty much have the same list as Adam. Blade Runner 2049, Shape of Water, Call Me By Your Name, Dunkirk, and Mudbound. I really put Mudbound in there, though, because it's actually a girl cinematographer, and I really think that would be cool to see her win. But, you know, I'm kind of partial to Blade Runner, I guess.
I think it's also a good thing for Mudbound, too. I think Mudbound is going to be the first big tell if Netflix is going to be taken seriously at the Oscars. It's been taken seriously in other award circuits, but hopefully it kind of can sneaks in for the Oscars as well, because the only thing Netflix has ever been nominated for is documentaries. So they've been making some good films, so hopefully it sneaks in with a surprise nomination in several categories.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a film I haven't seen, but I heard a lot of great things about it. But as far as the one I think, and actually the one I want to win is actually Blade Runner. Roger Deakins is basically probably one of the best working out there. And I don't think we saw a lot of Blade Runner in the Golden Globes, but hopefully we see that change in the Oscars. But what about you guys? Who do you think is going to win, and who do you want to win?
So for me, I really want Blade Runner to win. One, because I love Deakins, but just the way he shot Blade Runner, like, I think no one, like, even if you didn't like Blade Runner or think it's a boring film, like, you have to come out of that film saying that is a beautifully shot film. And, I mean, all these films are shot beautifully. But for me, Blade Runner is what I think will win, and I think that's what I even want to win. I'd be even shocked if Blade Runner wasn't nominated at all. I think that would be a snub completely. I know a lot of people want Blade Runner to be nominated in a ton of the categories, but I think this is the one category that if it gets nominated for it, this will be the one.
For me, I think they... who I would like to win is obviously Blade Runner 2049. Deakins is amazing. And I think even though he's been nominated so many times that he's definitely due. So I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he won this category. But who I think's actually going to win if Blade Runner does not get nominated, I think Shape of Water is going to win this one. I haven't seen the film yet, but I hear amazing things from you guys as well as other YouTubers as well. But I kind of would love to see Call Me By Your Name just kind of sneak in a win, because that movie is kind of like a complete like European style film, and it's just amazing to look at. So those are my 3 kind of films I can see winning anyway.
All right, guys. So our next category we're going to be going over is Best Original Song. So for me, to be honest, I think one in particular comes into mind, and obviously I have not seen The Greatest Showman though, so I know there's a lot of great talk about, especially for the soundtrack and the score for that movie. But for me, I think Coco had some of the best music in there, and I think Remember Me is up there, and I feel like it should be at least nominated, if not win. Also Visions of Gideon from Call Me By Your Name is a wonderful song, and that end credit scene kind of just really gets to you. So what about you guys?
For me, I have for I have 5 nominations here in this category. 2 of them I can for sure see. It's Remember Me from Coco and This Is Me from The Greatest Showman. I can also see The Mystery of Love from Call Me By Your Name. I also have Mighty River for Mudbound as well, and Evermore from Beauty and the Beast. That's kind of a long shot, but I actually kind of enjoyed that song, and I wouldn't be surprised if Beauty and the Beast gets a surprise nomination in this category.
No, and you know what, Adam, you're right on there. I didn't even think of Beauty and the Beast when I wrote that in this list, but I do have The Greatest Showman, This Is Me. I actually think that will be the one that ends up winning. I don't think it deserves it, because I think Coco's Remember Me deserves to win. I also wouldn't be surprised if Coco gets nominated for another one of the songs in there, El Polo. That is actually my favorite song from the whole film, but I want Remember Me to win. I think This Is Me will probably end up winning. I also have Mighty River in there from Mudbound. I think that's a beautiful song. I haven't heard the song from Call Me By Your Name, so that might actually change my mind if I hear it. And then I do have the song Home from Ferdinand. I don't think it's an amazing song, but it's an original song, and you know how the Oscars go. Sometimes they throw films in there, so I put it in there thinking, it'll probably get nominated.
Yeah, that's some good choices. I think that this is the hardest category to kind of guess. I think that's why I said that I feel like only 2 films are complete shoe-ins for this category. The song that you said, the little bit crazy song from Coco, is an amazing song too, but I think Remember Me just has a little more of the staying power. I think it's going to be tied to that ending, and I think it's going to be a kind of a 2-horse race right now. It's going to be The Greatest Showman, and Coco kind of leading the charge right now for Best Original Song. It's going to go neck and neck for those 2, I think.
Yep, I agree there. What about you, John? What do you think?
No, yeah, definitely. Like I said, I haven't not seen The Greatest Showman, so I can't really comment on that one much, or Mudbound, but definitely Adam brings up a good point with Beauty and the Beast. We with all award season, where there's might be like this dark horse that comes out of nowhere that we might have forgotten, maybe actually get nominated and win. But yeah, Poco Loco from Coco was actually a really great song. But for me, I kind of liked Remember Me a little bit more because it has that special moment, at the end of the film. But yeah, now I think if you guys are ready.
Oh, can I add one more thing to this real fast? I just remembered.
Yeah, sure.
This is the category that I guarantee you probably a documentary song comes into this category as well. We saw that a couple years ago. It was like two years ago. It was a documentary song came in the play here, and so anything could happen in this category for sure.
Just like John said, it could be a dark horse or a dark bull named Ferdinand.
Exactly right. But all right, guys. With that being said, we can actually move on to our next category, and in the same realm of music. That's Best Original Score. So for that. Obviously, these films already have some of those mentioned. Call Me By Your Name, Coco, Baby Driver, The Shape of Water, and Blade Runner 2049. So what about you guys?
So for this time, so I have Blade Runner 2049. I think this is another one that Blade Runner had one of the best scores of the year. Shape of Water. I love the Shape of Water score in there. War for the Planet of the Apes was the first film I think this year that I saw that really the score stuck out to me very heavily. Phantom Thread. I listened to the score and I was like, that is really good, and I can't wait to see what's actually in the film. And then Dunkirk. I don't think Dunkirk has the best score, but I think a lot of people are really aiming for it. And if I was to choose one that would win and one that I would want it to win is, of course I'd love to see Blade Runner win, but I think Shape of Water had a better score overall, and I think that will be the one that ends up winning it.
Oh, those are good choices. My 5 that I have, with one possible, I have The Shape of Water, Dunkirk, The Post, Phantom Thread, and The Last Jedi. I think those are my 5. With Blade Runner we have Blade Runner 2049 as my kind of an alternate. I want Blade Runner to be in there, of course, because that's my favorite movie of the year. I think the score is fantastic, but I definitely see The Shape of Water getting a win in this category for sure, with the possible of Dunkirk as well. I kind of like the score for what it is, but I think that one. Those are the 2 for sure nominations in this category: Dunkirk and The Shape of Water. But those are probably the 2 front runners for me.
Yeah, you guys bring up a good point. I completely forgot about Dunkirk. That I feel like was one of the essential elements to make the film work. Having such unique, with the whole ticking sound of the watch. Also, Phantom Thread, I forgot. Johnny Greenwood did a fantastic job in kind of making the film feel so precise, like the main character. in the film as well as along with that cinematography. But yeah, as far as my pick to win, I do hope I'm with Zach in this one. I do hope Blade Runner's score wins overall. I have that on my playlist on my phone, so I play that just on random sometimes on shuffle. But I have to agree with Adam. I think the Shape of Water's score. I think it's going to run away with it because it is a unique one. It is a great one. Alexander Desplat just makes you kind of fall in love with the movie. It kind of makes it have this sort of fairy tale vibe to it, like the whole rest of the movie. So yeah, those got to be my pick and who I think is going to win.
Hey, all great choices, and I like that Adam actually said Last Jedi because I think that was one of the best Star Wars scores. I really love the Last Jedi score,
and I liked it a little bit better than the Force Awakens one. I thought that one was good. I really like Leia's Rey's theme, but I feel like this one just hit you a little bit more. All right, guys. So our next category is Best Animated Feature, which I actually did not really prepare for that one. I thought I did, but obviously I think and I want Coco to win. It was just an amazing film. Just came out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, but just really kind of Pixar was kind of struggling with Cars 3, and then all these other films. So people were kind of like, okay, let's hope that Coco is really good. And I think just the animation in that, there's a little thing that they played before the movie that just shows you all the work that went behind that. But another movie that I would pick for at least being nominated is Loving Vincent and The Breadwinner. Those animations look really good as well. For Loving Vincent, I believe is the first film to be like fully just like paintings and stuff like that. Like the animation's actual paintings, which is really insane. And thinking about it, that might be, just sneaking up right behind Coco. But what do you guys think?
Obviously, I think Coco is going to get nominated and obviously win, I think. But I also put down the Breadwinner, Loving Vincent. I also have Mary and the Witch's Flower. I think that one could be a kind of a sneak in there. And also Lego Batman. But I also have Ferdinand I could probably see getting in there for some reason. But Lego Batman deserves to be in there at least. So that's my 5 that I have.
All right, and then my 5, of course, Coco. Like, if you don't put Coco in yours, I'm sorry, but you're kind of stupid. Breadwinner, Loving Vincent, which, just like John was saying, if you guys haven't heard this film, really look up the behind the scenes on it. Some guy I went to a screening with, he told me a lot about how they made the film, and it's just such a unique way that if Coco loses to Loving Vincent, I'll be sad, but I'll understand why. And then the other 2 films I have is A Silent Voice, an anime film that really deserves a lot more credit than it's getting, and then Lego Batman. I am saying right now, if Lego Batman gets snubbed again, just like the Lego movie did, I'll probably just stop watching. Like, just flat out stop watching. Like, Lego Batman is one of the best animated films of the last year. It was great.
Yeah, the Lego movie deserved to have it. I think I like the Lego movie more, but Batman was very good, very well animated as well. So it definitely deserves to be at least nominated for sure.
For sure, yeah. I think it gets the nomination. I don't think it deserves to win out of all the other ones. I think all the other ones deserve above it, but still, come on. Lego Batman. It's clever as hell.
Alright, guys, so our next category is Best Adapted Screenplay. And to be honest, I'm just really thinking of one right now in particular. And that is Call Me By Your Name. It is based on the book. I'm forgetting the author's name. But another 2 films that I have to mention are It and Logan. Those I would want to be nominated. I don't think they are. Maybe Logan. But It, I don't know. It has a long shot, but I would definitely want it to win. It was just from the book, even the miniseries, I thought it just had a lot of... It was the most, I guess, from this year at least, was the best film that, was adapted from the book. Best, had a lot of what the book had, so I think that one has a long shot, but it's one of my, at least nominations. So what about you guys?
I'll start for this one. So for a best adapted screenplay, I actually did put Logan down. I really have a feeling Logan will get nominated. I really do. The Disaster Artist is another one. Molly's Game, Call Me By Your Name, and Mudbound. For me, who do I think's gonna win? Probably The Disaster Artist. I think that script was very well done, but I wouldn't be surprised if Call Me by Your Name sneaks in there, or Molly's Game, because I mean it's Aaron Sorkin. Like, the guy's one of the best writers in Hollywood. But for me, I'd probably choose Logan, because Logan deserves a lot of credit at the Oscars. It's not just a superhero film; it changed a lot of dynamics for film in general. So I have to put that out there.
Well, those you'll see. I'll explain mine in a second. But my 5 choices are going to be Call Me by Your Name, Mudbound, Molly's Game, The Disaster Artist, and All the Money in the World. I think that's going to be my top 5 right there. But I do have The Beguiled, which was a very loved film festival film that's kind of being forgotten right now. Also, Logan is another choice, and it's not too far. It's probably likely it could be nominated for this category because it's got nominated at the Writers Guild this year as well. So it does have that nomination. So it's getting some recognition for its writing of the screenplay. So don't be surprised if Logan makes the cut. Also, the film Wonder is a big critic and audience hit too, so that could sneak in there as well. Well, but Call Me by Your Name is what I think is going to win, and what deserves to win too.
Yeah, and I think, like you guys said, Molly's Game obviously is written and directed by Aaron Sorkin, but he's done just some fantastic work in the past. And also Disaster Artist, I completely forgot. I don't know why I completely forgot about that one, but that one's also really well done as well. And Greg Sestero, I think, was the one who wrote the book. So yeah, I can see that one winning as well. But now I think we're going to go on to Best Original Screenplay. So for those, let me look at my list. I have Lady Bird, The Shape of Water, Baby Driver, Get Out, and actually Phantom Thread. The one who I want to win, man, it's tough. It's tough. I think I'd have to go with Lady Bird. And I think that's the one that has the best chance. Get Out might have the best chance, to be honest. So yeah, the one I would want to win is Lady Bird, and the one I think that has the best chance to win is Get Out. But not not trying to put down Get Out, but for me, I think overall Lady Bird had a better script. But what about you guys?
I'll take this one first. My 5 is Lady Bird, Get Out, The Big Sick, The Shape of Water, and 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. With my 2 kind of possible sneak in there votes are The Post and the Writers Guild nomination of I, Tonya. I, Tonya could be in there as well. I think Lady Bird has this category. I think it's the one category that the Academy is actually going to give to Greta Gerwig for her amazing script that she wrote. It's going to be like the one award that this movie's going to get. It deserves a lot more, but this is a good category. But I also would like to see Get Out get it as well. But so Lady Bird and Get Out are my 2 picks, but I think Lady Bird has got this one, and I'm okay with that.
And going from there, I believe Lady Bird will win this category. I think Greta Gerwig deserves it. It's one of the best scripts of this year. But going from there, I have Lady Bird, of course, I would think to be nominated Shape of Water, Get Out, The Big Sick, and then these are 2 that I go back and forth. They could be either one. Either 3 Billboards or The Post will be in there. I am so I like The Post. I thought it was a decent film, but the script for it was just brilliant. I thought the script was brilliant, and it's written by a new writer, Liz Hannah, I think is her name. But if you really look up her inspirational story for how she wrote it, she almost gave up writing until she wrote the script, and it's just great. I think The Post is an incredible script. Not the best film, but I think between Lady Bird and The Post, those 2 films might sneak in there. But for me, if I was to choose one to win, honestly, I'd probably choose The Big Sick or The Post. And then a little side nod to Get Out, because I think Jordan Peele just wrote a brilliant script with little Easter eggs and shadows and foreshadows and hints and just so much things to that script that every time you watch it, you notice something else. And that's just brilliant directing and also brilliant writing there.
I totally agree. I think that Get Out's going to get something at this award, and I'm not going to say it's this category. I'm going to save that for later, but I definitely think that it's definitely deserving of a win or 2 for sure this year. I think it's going to be a very good. It's just good at that movie being nominated is a win no matter what. So I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, especially because it came out so early on in the year. But you know what? It's been doing a lot of award buzz. The Golden Globes and stuff like that. And like Zach was saying, it just Jordan Peele did a lot with this film, And I think, to be honest, if it had a category to win, I think it might be this one. But there's just a lot of other great movies, like you guys said, The Big Sick and Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. They were fantastic and their scripts were amazing. But moving on with our next category. Are you guys ready? All right. All right. So moving on with our next category is Best Supporting Actress. And this year we actually had some really amazing performances. So for me, I have Allison Janney from I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf from Lady Bird, Holly Hunter from The Big Sick, Brooklyn Price from The Florida Project, and Vicky Krieps from the Phantom Thread. All of those are fantastic performances. But if I had one, obviously she won for on the Golden Globes, and I think Allison Janney does have I think the front runner, to be honest, for this award. And I think she's gonna win, and I would want her to win as well.
And going from there to my list, I have Allison Janney, of course, Laurie Metcalf, Mary J. Blige, Octavia Spencer, and Holly Hunter. Allison Janney will win this. I think that's hands down. I think a lot of people say McCaff was like super good in Lady Bird, and she was. I just didn't. The stuff Allison Janney did in I, Tonya was just like, she stole almost the whole entire movie from some of the greatest like actors and actresses coming up. But I also want to give a nod to Holly Hunter. I think Holly Hunter has a small chance of sneaking in there. Her performance is so subtle in The Big Sick, but it was also very special.
Yeah, that's very true. I'll get into my nominations and I'll tell my thoughts. But my nominations are Allison Janney from I, Tonya, Laurie Metcalf, Lady Bird, Holly Hunter, The Big Sick, Octavia Spencer from The Shape of Water, and that would make it 15 nominations for Shape of Water. So that Shape of Water is going to break the record, I believe, and Mary J. Blige for Mudbound. But I also see Leslie Manville from The Phantom Thread probably being a sneak in there. Also, I'm saying her name wrong. It's Hung Chan from Downsizing. She got the Golden Globe nom. I can kind of see her being a kind of like get rewarded for this one role, but I think her and Octavia Spencer could be a swap. Who knows? But I think Spencer, she's been there, gets a lot of nominations. She's basically the Meryl Streep of the supporting actress category recently. So I think Spencer's got the nomination for sure.
And I also want to throw out, I know you guys mentioned some really good ones. I want to throw out Tiffany Haddish for Girls Trip, because honestly, if I was voting, I would throw her in there. She made that film so well. And I know maybe it's because I can relate to her a lot, and that's how I would be in like that whole group of friends. But I think Tiffany Haddish is like the breakthrough star of this year for like comedies and stuff. And she kind of did what, oh God, what's her name from Bridesmaids? She kind of did what Melissa McCarthy did a couple years back with Bridesmaids, and she got nominated. So come on, let's get Tiffany Haddish some love.
That's true. I don't know why I didn't write that down, but that's a good choice. But I forgot to tell you who I think's going to win. I think it's going to be whoever wins the SAG award. So I think it's either going to be Allison Janney or Laurie Metcalf. I can't really decide who I liked more. I think Allison Janney did a lot more, but at times she kind of felt over the top. But that's the movie that she was in. Laurie Metcalf felt kind of real as well. But I think right now, kind of the slight favorite for me is Allison Janney.
All right, guys. So now it's time for Best Supporting Actor. And to be honest, this year was actually pretty stacked, and that's pretty good. So here's my list. It's mixed with obviously the ones who I think are gonna win and are gonna get nominated, but some I wish and I really hope that he is nominated. But the nominees are Sam Rockwell, Richard Jenkins, Armie Hammer, Willem Dafoe, Mark Hamill, and Patrick Stewart. I hope he gets nominated. I really do. At least if Logan doesn't get nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay, hopefully Sir Patrick Stewart can get nominated. But if he's not, I think this is Sam Rockwell's award all the way. He was just phenomenal. He has been throughout his career, and I'm so happy that he's finally getting some recognition. And also, Willem Dafoe, he was phenomenal in the Florida Project. All of these guys were phenomenal. And Mark Hamill is another one that I thought his performance was really, really well. I know it is a touchy subject because, The Last Jedi was so split down the middle. But if he gets nominated, that'll be awesome. I don't think he will, but let's just hope. What about you guys?
For me, I have Sam Rockwell for Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Willem Dafoe for The Florida Project. Richard Jenkins for The Shape of Water. Armie Hammer for Call Me By Your Name. And Christopher Plummer for All the Money in the World. And I also have out there on the wings is Woody Harrelson for Three Billboards as well. Now, I think Sam Rockwell, this is his year for sure. He deserves it. He's one of the most underrated actors of all time. If you've seen Matchstick Men or Moon, you understand what I'm talking about. He's just a fantastic and everything, even Galaxy Quest. But the reason why I don't think that Sam Rockwell there's a possibility that he could lose is that if they nominate Woody Harrelson, because there'll be two people in the same movie, and sometimes that doesn't work out well for the favorite. So I think Willem Dafoe had this one locked down before, like early on in the year. Early projections was it's Dafoe's year, but Rockwell came on really strong, so I don't see that slowing down, and I really want him to get the win because he deserves it for sure.
No, and you guys both make great stuff in there. So for mine, I have Sam Rockwell as well. I think, again, he's one of the most underrated actors in Hollywood, and this is his year. Who knew that a character I could despise so freaking much in a movie? And I know that's also the writing, but, like, the actor portrayed it to where I hated him so much, but by the end I was, like, sympathizing with him in some ways. It was such a weird performance that it always stuck out to me, and to be honest, I didn't even know that was Sam Rockwell. Like, he delved into that role so well. I also have Armie Hammer, of course. I think he's a very underrated actor as well. Willem Dafoe, I'd love to see him win. I'm a big fan of Dafoe. Patrick Stewart, I'd love to see you get in there. Will you? Probably not, but you deserve it. Richard Jenkins is another one. And I also say if Stewart doesn't get nominated, Christopher Plummer will get nominated, because as much as I think All the Money in the World is just an alright movie, Plummer is so good in that film, and I mean Plummer is an excellent actor, so those are my choices. But Sam Rockwell and Adam, you do make a good choice. If Woody Harrelson does get nominated, which he deserves it because he was really good in there, it could split it down the middle to where maybe even Willem Dafoe sneaks in and wins it.
I want to think that Sam Rockwell still overcome those odds. I'm very hopeful for that. But the reason why I put Christopher Plummer in there, I haven't seen that movie yet. I hear he's fantastic, obviously, but I think that having All the Money in the World get a nomination in this category, and as probably another one, is just because of the whole incident that happened. So I can definitely see him sneaking in there as that category. Now the performance I hear is amazing, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how great it is and see why he's deserving. But I'm putting that in there for there. But Armie Hammer is another one that I would love to see sneak in there and win, because without him, if a different actor came in and portrayed that character, the movie probably wouldn't work. And Armie Hammer is just so underrated, and this is his best performance ever. John, what do you think?
No, I'm definitely, I agree with you guys. For me, Armie Hammer, this is the best he's been, at least for me, since The Social Network. And Christopher Plummer, I have not seen All the Money in the World, but to deliver a performance that everybody is talking about, and it got nominated for the Golden Globe in such a short amount of time, this whole situation that he was put into. So with him being able to deliver a performance like this, it's got to be up there, and also quickly I want to mention Michael Stuhlbarg. He's been in a lot of movies this year, and he's been in The Shape of Water, The Post, and also in Call Me By Your Name. He delivered a great monologue at the end, and it was fantastic. So I would like to see him get nominated as well. But do you guys have any closing thoughts on the Best Supporting Actor?
Yeah, I also will say, I will say at least, you guys are all saying Plummer, and why he might get nominated is because, like, there's also some, like, things in there is that, like, it could be also a big fuck you to Kevin Spacey from the Academy. I'm just being honest, like, that's how a lot of viewers and voters vote sometimes, so that could also be a factor in there as well.
Alright guys, so we are hitting those bigger categories here. So now we are up to Best Supporting Actress, and this year was actually surprisingly pretty stacked here too. And so I have, of course, Frances McDormand from Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. I have Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water. Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, she killed it there. Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird. Jessica Chastain for Molly's Game. And for some reason, I thought she did a really good job in this movie, even though this movie was kind of, I wasn't a big fan, but I do understand what the director was going for. Jennifer Lawrence, I think she did a pretty great performance in Mother. I don't think she's going to get nominated, but I think I had to mention her here. So obviously, I think, man, if not Margot Robbie, I think Frances McDormand is gonna win. She did win the Golden Globe, but Margot Robbie, she was just so powerful in I, Tonya. It's one of the reasons why that movie works so well. But other than that, I think it's gonna come down to those two. To be honest, Sally Hawkins was amazing, but I feel like the other choices they outperformed her. But what about you guys?
So this is, I think, the most stacked category this year. Out of everyone, there are so many fantastic female performances. Sally Hawkins in Shape of Water. When I saw Shape of Water, I was like, "Yep, she'll win." Then I saw Three Billboards, and I was like, "Damn, Frances McDormand's really freaking good." Then I saw Lady Bird, and I was like, "Shit, Saoirse Ronan's really good." Then I saw Molly's Game, and I'm like, "Damn, Jessica Chastain." Then I saw I, Tonya, and I was like, "Oh my God, Margot Robbie." Meryl Streep's also another one that could sneak in there because it's Streep. And then you did say Jennifer Lawrence for Mother. Like, Lawrence was really good in Mother. Here's my thing with this. I think Sally Hawkins, McDormand, and Ronan are for sure. They're all getting nominated. Those three are getting nominated. It's the last two that who's going to get in there. I have a bad feeling in my gut that Robbie will not get nominated, and she'll be the Gyllenhaal of this year for how good Gyllenhaal was in Nightcrawler and how good Robbie is in here. I have a feeling she's not going to get nominated, and that they're going to throw Streep and Chastain in there instead. But I think I hope that's wrong, because I honestly, I would hand the Oscar to Robbie. I think she gave the best performance of this year. I've seen I, Tonya twice, and I still stand by that. But don't get me wrong, I do think the winner will most likely be coming down to Frances McDormand or Saoirse Ronan, because both of their performances were different, but also very powerful. But I still think Robbie gave it her all this year, just as all these females did. But for me, I would hand the Oscar to Robbie, but I know those two females are probably the ones that are battling it out between all the Oscar voters.
Yeah, I got pretty much the same list as you guys. I got Frances McDormand, Three Billboards, Sally Hawkins for The Shape of Water, Saoirse Ronan for Lady Bird, Margot Robbie for I, Tonya, and I kind of swapped back and forth between Jessica Chastain and for Molly's Game and Meryl Streep for The Post. The top three, McDormand, Hawkins, and Ronan, are locks. I think Robbie is going to be pretty solid pick in there. I think she's getting nominated for sure, I think. And it's just the bottom two, I feel. But if we're throwing weird people out there like Jennifer Lawrence and Mother, which I think she was really good, I'll throw out Kristen Stewart for Personal Shopper, because she was fantastic in that movie, and no one's talking about that. But yeah, I think those are the solid 5 picks. I think McDormand is going to win this category, though I think I would love to see 2 winners in the Best Actor and Actresses category under 25. I think that would be awesome. So Ronan would be a person I would love to see, because she's been nominated a couple times already. And I think she was even better in this movie than she was in Brooklyn. But she's a great actress for sure.
I agree with you guys on that. I agree. And John, I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think with our list and stuff?
Yeah, I think your guys' list is great. I have not seen Personal Shopper though, but I did hear that she gave a great performance in there too. I am surprised with your opinion on Margot Robbie, Zach. I hope that does not happen. You know, Jake Gyllenhaal did. I feel like he's just been getting snubbed, you know, for the past few years. But I definitely think, I hope she's a lock. You know, I hope that she definitely gets in there. I didn't think about that though, that they might screw her out of this nomination.
No, and like, I'm with you on that. I hope she doesn't. I just have a gut feeling that there could be that side that she's going to get like the Jake Gyllenhaal of this year, and I have a feeling that might be some of her career as well.
Oh man, I hope that doesn't happen. But yeah, guys, that was a stat category, but also this next one, obviously Best Actor, is also stacked as well. For my list though, I have some that are going to get nominated, some that I hope to get nominated. But the ones I think are for sure going to get nominated are Timothée Chalamet for Call Me By Your Name, James Franco for The Disaster Artist, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, and then some of the ones, I this is a long shot, but James McAvoy was really good in Split, and I think his performance is being overlooked. Unfortunately, it did come out in January of last year, so he's not going to get nominated, but I hope, you know, if there's some sort of chance, you know. But also Jeremy Renner, I think he was fantastic in Wind River. But I do think it's going to come down to, maybe Timothy Chalamet or Daniel Day-Lewis, because they were both great. James Franco does a great performance, but for me at least, the other two performances stand out. Timothy Chalamet, he was always also in Lady Bird, but just the powerful performance he gave in Call Me by Your Name, just how you're able to connect with him, and just that end scene as well, that end credit scenes, like, man, it just hits you, you know. But Daniel Day-Lewis, obviously, he's, you know, run away with this category before. But even though I love this performance, I feel like he has been better in the past. So this might be the year that, you know, fortunately this is his last performance, but it might be the year that, you know, he gets not overlooked, but he gets, you know, outacted by another actor. But what about you guys?
For me, I got Timothy Chalamet for Call Me by Your Name, Gary Oldman for The Darkest Hour, Daniel Kaluuya for Get Out, Daniel Day-Lewis for Phantom Thread, and here we go, bring on the hate. It's going to be Denzel Washington for Roman J. Esquire. And the reason why I want James Franco, I wrote James Franco down in this list, but I have a feeling, though, with the recent allegations, I don't think that they're trying to make a huge stand on not rewarding people for those misconducts like they did last year. I think James Franco misses out. I think he could get the allegations came out probably after the ballot's already been casted, so I think James Franco gets the nomination, and he's great in that movie. But he could have a possibility of not being there. But also I have Tom Hanks for The Post and Jake Gyllenhaal for Stronger. And I think it's awesome that Timothy Chalamet's in this category, because it's like the Adrian Brody pick from a few years ago for The Pianist. He's like the young guy, up-and-coming actor that's with a bunch of people that's been around for a while, too. So I think it's really cool that he's in there. But I think Gary Oldman's got this category pretty much on lock.
Yeah, no, going from your guys' list, Timothy Chalamet. So I haven't seen Call Me by Your Name, but I loved him in Lady Bird. Anything the guy's done so far, I've loved. And seeing such a young guy be in this category with some of the best actors acting, personally, I want him to win. I know I haven't seen the film and I can't judge by his performance, but just knowing that he's getting recognized by guys of the likes of Oldman, Daniel Day-Lewis, that's incredible. I think I would love to see him win, but like you said, I do think Gary Oldman, I did select him. I think this is his year to win. James Franco, another one. Same with you, Adam. I think he deserves the nomination, but with the allegations going around, true or false, whatever's happening with it could affect those chances. Daniel Day-Lewis I did put down because it's Daniel Day-Lewis. And then I did put Daniel Kaluuya in there from Get Out. To be honest, I don't think his performance is up there with the best. I would certainly select Jake Gyllenhaal there, but you saying Denzel Washington, I will not be shocked if he's nominated, because he was really good in Roman. He was really good in Roman J. Esquire. But I don't think it deserves it. I do think this is Jake Gyllenhaal should be nominated in there. Will he? Probably not, but you know what I mean. But Tom Hanks, also another good choice too.
Yeah, I think I forgot about Tom Hanks. He's normally very good in his performances. Obviously, he's Tom Hanks. But for some reason, I feel if anybody's going to be nominated for that, I actually forgot to put him in my Best Supporting Actors. Probably Bob Odenkirk. He did a great performance there. But sticking with these actors, I did not see Roman J. Esquire, but it's great to hear that. It's great to hear that at least Denzel, he's Denzel, so hopefully he gets nominated as well. But yeah, I'm right there with you, Zach. To be an up-and-coming actor like Timothy Chalamet, to be recognized with like you said, likes of Daniel Day-Lewis, Hanks, it's just awesome. And for me, I feel like that's the best performance this year personally. But we'll see. And that whole James Franco thing, that's why I kind of was kind of what, if he'll get nominated, but I don't know if he's gonna win. I think that happened with Casey Affleck with Manchester by the Sea, but I don't know what happened with the allegations. I know he was accused and stuff like that, but he did end up winning, so who knows? But I don't think this year, I think James Franco would get nominated, but I cannot see an outcome where he wins, personally.
Yeah, I don't. From last year, I was super ecstatic when Casey Affleck won. I thought that's my Manchester by the Sea was my favorite movie last year. And it brought me to tears all 3 times I saw it. And I really like it. I think his performance is really good and subtle, but I don't think they're going to necessarily reward of a person, especially the big crackdown this year, which is very well done. It's been way too long that this stuff has been happening, that it's time that it's get it out, and so that's why I don't see James Franco. He's not going to win for sure. I don't think there's any chance that he's winning, but he could get nominated still. I don't think that's necessarily going to be terrible. You can love the performance, but not agree with what the person behind the performance actually has done. So that's where I think the performance of Tommy Wiseau in this movie was great, but I don't like what he did, or if it's true or not,
But yeah, we also have to think the whole hashtag time's up now. Like that's a big movement, so that also adds to it. But you guys said everything that I could even add on to it.
Yeah, definitely. And so now it's time to move on to Best Director, and this for me was another stacked category. This year was surprisingly very good for movies, and this list cannot be any more stacked. So personally, the first one I have here is Greta Gerwig. I feel like she should have gotten nominated at the Golden Globes, but I don't really like the Golden Globes, so hopefully she does get a nomination here. I'll write if she doesn't. But Guillermo del Toro also, I think, is going to get nominated. Christopher Nolan. I personally want Denis Villeneuve to get nominated. Jordan Peele. And I'm forgetting the director from Phantom Thread, but I feel like he... obviously, Paul Thomas Anderson. How could I forget? I feel like he's going to get nominated as well. As far as who I want to win, I think Greta Gerwig, to be honest. But I think who's going to win is Guillermo del Toro. He did win the Golden Globe, and his movie was fantastic. It was beautiful. It was like this sort of fantasy romantic movie, and I think I'm with Adam on this. It's gonna probably break the record for most nominations, or be really high up there. So who I think is gonna win is Guillermo. Who I want to win is honestly Greta Gerwig. I think she deserves it. That Lady Bird, for being her first directorial debut, was fantastic, and I feel like she's not getting talked about enough.
John, those are great picks. But going to mine, I have Jordan Peele, Greta Gerwig, Martin McDowell for 3 Billboards, Christopher Nolan, and Del Toro. I think Del Toro, I think this is his year. I think Shape of Water is such a brilliant film, and just Del Toro, the way he directed that film is masterful. But as much as I'd love to see Del Toro win, I would love to see Jordan Peele or Greta Gerwig take it away. I don't think Jordan Peele even has a chance. He might not even get nominated. Spielberg might sneak in there as well. But I would like to see Jordan Peele nominated. I think he did a great job with his directorial debut. Same with Greta Gerwig. So I think this year it really comes down to 3 people. I think it's going to be between Nolan, Del Toro, and Greta Gerwig. As much as I'm not the biggest fan I'm not the biggest fan of Dunkirk, but the way Nolan directed that film on a technical level is brilliant.
Yeah, my choice is Del Toro, The Shape of Water, Nolan, Dunkirk, Martin McDonagh for 3 Billboards. I have Greta Gerwig for Lady Bird, and Spielberg and Jordan Peele kind of swapping back and forth for Get Out and The Post. I think those are pretty much the 6. I think only 3 of those are locks, though. I think only 3 of those are for sure going to be nominated. I think that's going to be Del Toro, Nolan, and McDonagh. But I definitely see Gerwig every day gets closer to the Oscars. I think she's getting closer to being a lock now too. I think that's for sure going to happen. This is where I think Del Toro's is hands down is going to win. I think he's done such a great job with all his films beforehand, and I haven't seen Shape of Water yet, which I know, knucklehead. But I think everything I've seen. This is a brilliant looking movie. So I think everything he's won so far is going to take the cake. And I think Christopher Nolan's getting overlooked because I think he was the odds-on favorite earlier on in the year. But Shape of Water kind of surprised a lot of people, and people are forgetting Dunkirk a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I think for Dunkirk, it was essential for, like, if any other director would have directed this, I think it would have just been a mess, So I feel like Nolan did a fantastic job in kind of bringing everything together, making everything work with the score, like I said, in cinematography as well. I know it's getting, knocked down for not having, some, like, character development or anything like that. But for me, I just thought it was a overall, like, experience, like, to kind of show you what went on in Dunkirk. So I think... and Christopher Nolan accomplished that. But yeah, the director for 3 Billboards Outside of Evan McDormand he's been an incredible director as well. He did Seven Psychopaths, was one of my favorite films as well. I think he's gonna get nominated for sure, and then Spielberg too, probably. But if you guys don't have anything else to add, we can move on to our final category, which is the best picture. Awesome, guys. So for best picture, I think this year might be another year that's going to be 10 nominations, because it's just like I said, 2017 has been a fantastic year for films. So my 10 that I think are going to get nominated are The Shape of Water, The Post, Phantom Thread, Call Me by Your Name, Lady Bird, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Get Out, The Disaster Artist, I, Tonya, and Dunkirk. Hopefully that's 10. But yeah, to be honest, man, like I said, this year was stacked. This year was really, really stacked. So who I think is going to win, I think probably The Shape of Water. I think so. I think it's the front runner for me, at least. But who I want to win based on this list, it might be Call Me by Your Name. I think so. I think that's the film that I would want to win. It'd be awesome though if like Get Out or Lady Bird just come in there, and especially Get Out. That would be amazing. Or something like last year happens, like, hey, Shape of Water, and you know what? Sorry, hold on. Get Out is actually the winner or something. But yeah, guys, I'm interested to hear you guys' list, because this year was stacked. So I want to hear from you guys.
All right. Well, John, you're very positive, thinking it's going to be 10. I think it's going to be 7, actually. But I do have 10 names. I have 10 movies for sure. So my 7, I think for sure, are going to be kind of locks. I have Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, The Post, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, The Shape of Water, and Mudbound. Those are the 7 I think are going to be in there. But if we're doing 10, I have Call Me by Your Name, The Florida Project, and I, Tonya. But I can also see The Big Sick and Wonder Woman also sneaking in there as a a popularity vote as well. So I think that's kind of my 10. The 2 movies that I think that I would like to see win are Call Me by Your Name, or actually 3, Lady Bird and Get Out. Those are the 3 films that I would be lobbying for and voting for if I had a vote. And there's actually 3 films I think are going to basically battle this out here. And I'm going strictly off past winners of the future, like all the way back to the 90s. There's every single winner of Best Picture has at least been nominated for Best Ensemble Cast at the SAG Awards, other than one film that was Braveheart, that was directed by Mel Gibson. So there was 5 films that were nominated for that category this year at the SAGs. That was Three Billboards, Get Out, Lady Bird, Mudbound, and The Big Sick. So I think it's a battle is between Three Billboards, Lady Bird, and Get Out. And I think out of those 3 films, the most culturally significant film that's going to be talked about for years to come is going to be Get Out. And Get Out's going to win Best Picture at this year's Oscars, and that's going to be the movie that's going to be talked about for years to come. I think the other 2 films are very good, and they're in my top 10 for sure. But if you're talking about movies that's going to be remembered, it's going to be the most culturally significant film of the year. Get Out.
Man, you guys are getting me so hyped for the Oscars. I didn't think I could ever get so hyped for the Oscars with that whole speech Adam and John. But going from there, guys, so Best Picture, Shape of Water, Get Out, Three Billboards, Big Sick. Yes, I do think The Big Sick will get nominated. Lady Bird, Dunkirk, The Post, and Call Me by Your Name. With some honorable mentions to I, Tonya, Wonder Woman, and even a slight nod to Logan. Because Logan, I know the studio has been pushing out tons of for-year considerations. And I think with the new rules that they integrated last year and the year before, I think there are a ton of people that will be championing for either Wonder Woman or Logan. I'm more of it. It's not going to be 10 noms, but I think it'll be around 9 or 8. I think this year has been strictly strong. I think Florida Project has a chance of going into there as well. Now, who do I think will win? I want to say Shape of Water, but I don't believe it'll win. I'm on the thing of Adam, is that I think, to me, I think Adam made some good points to why Get Out will win, but I have a feeling Lady Bird will end up winning. But you never know. You never know. I think it's really, for me, which films are going to battle it out. Big Sick, Lady Bird, and Get Out. I think those are the three that will battle it out. You might ask why The Big Sick. I think The Big Sick, I have not met one person that did not like the film. I think this is a film that a lot of people are going to start watching. They're going to be like, man, everyone can relate to this film in some way, somehow. And I think that's a big part of it. But same thing goes with Lady Bird. A lot of things you can relate there as well. So I think the reason that those two have... But then Adam pretty much said everything about Get Out. The culture, diversity, and everything in Get Out is insane. I mean, who wouldn't love to see Jordan Peele get up on stage and the Armitage family get up on stage to accept their award for this? And come on, for all we know, what if what if Jordan Peele, this is kind of a spoiler for Get Out, so if you haven't seen get out of this video for a little bit, what if Jordan Peele's mind, what if Stanley Kubrick's mind got put into Jordan Peele's body? Just saying. We don't know. We don't see the scars. But someone came up with the crazy idea. And I mean, Jordan Peele was the one that came up with it. So, just putting that out there.
Yeah, that'd be pretty crazy. But yeah, I'm kind of in the mindset where I don't think Best Director and Best Picture are kind of hand in hand anymore. Like that used to happen where the Best Director, that was going to tell who's going to win Best Picture. Those days are gone. I don't think that we'll ever see that again for a long time now, for a couple of years at least. So definitely, I think it's going to be lobbying between one of these smaller films. Actually, I pushed really hard for Get Out, but I wouldn't hold it past the Academy to put Lady Bird, and I actually had that as on my list here as circled as who I think is going to win. But I just think it's going to be between Get Out and Lady Bird. I think those are the two films that have some amazing staying power for sure that people are going to be talking about, that everybody's loved. Like you said, for The Big Sick, everybody likes the Get Out other than like one person on Rotten Tomatoes, but but yeah, exactly. But I think the movies of staying power that's going to be talked about for a long time, I think that's going to be the big thing about this Oscars for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. You guys make some brilliant, points here. And Adam, I think you should go champion for Get Out. You should be like the spokesperson for it, because I'm right there with you. If it's not The Shape of Water, like I said, that's the one I think is win. But I hope something like Get Out or Lady Bird wins. They're just so like their achievements in their own. Get Out was just so amazing. Every time you watch it, there's something new. Same as Lady Bird. Everybody can connect to that film. Another film that you guys mentioned too, The Florida Project. I think that might get nominated, but man, if Logan gets nominated, I don't know. I don't know. I was gonna say I'll riot, but I don't know. That would be just amazing, because that was personally my favorite movie of the year. So if that movie at least gets nominated for best picture, that'll be awesome. But yeah, I'm right there with you guys. I hope Lady Bird or Get Out gets the award.
So let's try and make this video not as choppy right here. So we're gonna make a bet. I'm proposing a bet to you guys. The ones who get the most out of the four best picture, director, best actor, and best actress. You guys all good with this? My best picture is Lady Bird. My best director is Del Toro. My main actor, I'm going to say this, Timothy. I really think he will win. I think he has a big chance. And then my actress, as much as I don't want to say this, Frances McDormand.
All right, well, I'm down for this bet. I'm going to go with Get Out as my best picture winner. Best director, I got Guillermo del Toro for The Shape of Water. Best actor, I have Gary Oldman for Darkest Hour. And best actress, I have Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards.
All right, guys. So I'm so down for this bet as well. So for my best picture, I have The Shape of Water. So best director, man, Adam brought up a good point that if it's best picture, I don't think the best director would go hand in hand. So I'm gonna go ahead and say Frances McDormand for 3 Billboards, and then for best actor and actress, I think I have to go and say I'm with Zach on this. Timothy Chalamet and Frances McDormand.
Man, I'm looking pretty good. I'm gonna get some candy. Woohoo! Just kidding.
All right, this will be a ton of fun though. But I do want to thank you, John, for having me on for this video. Of course, it was great talking to both of you guys about our Oscar predictions, and I mean, it's fun. It's gonna be. I have a good feeling for this Oscars. I think this will be a really fun Oscars. It's very tight raced. Every single category is very stacked this year.
Thank you so much, John, for having me on the channel. This was a lot of fun. Going to be a very tight race for sure in a lot of these, and I'm really excited. You guys can follow me on Almost Sideways. I do movie reviews, to the reactions, and ranking videos. Hope to see you at the movies. We'll see you later.
All right, guys. So yeah, thank you both, Adam and Zach, for being on my channel. You know, having these Oscar predictions. Those are so much fun. And yeah, Zach said it perfectly. This is going to be a tight race. This year was really awesome. It was great to be a film fan, and what a year to start YouTube as well, with all these films. So yeah, guys, if you guys want to follow any of these fine gentlemen here on social media or on YouTube, I'll leave all their links in the description down below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, you guys can follow me at The Real Talk with 2Ks on Twitter and Instagram, and also at Stardust, just at The Real Talk. And yeah, we'll catch you guys later, and I'll see you at the movies. Later.